My reaction to this film, this is one of the most extraordinarily brave films, courageous films I've ever seen. And the fact that, and I want to ask you questions, but I just want to say, I'm so moved by this. This is the second time I've seen it. Did I laugh? Did I cry? Did I sort of like stare at the screen? It's just got everything in it. So for you to take up a camera and try to, in my opinion, like create some sort of healing for your family by basically putting this in front of them day after day, it's just remarkable. It really is. And I applaud you, and I hope you all will too for having the courage to do this. And you're not alone this year. We have several other filmmakers who have done the exact same thing, and there's a lot of courage going around. So, how are Abba and Ima now? Where are they exactly? And how did this film change them? I'm going to the end first and working back, but I'm very curious because the last shot is, of course, very interesting as they leave Charm Circle. Where are they, and what has sort of happened to them?
Well, they're still in Queens, about 5 minutes away. So
didn't go far.
Didn't go far, and they're in an apartment now. And I think that move was one of the best things they ever did because they got to start a new chapter. And sometimes you just kind of have to leave certain things behind. You can't take it all with you.
Can you all hear Nira?
Sure.
She needs more. We'll just bring up the mic level for you.
Do I need to say that again? One second.
Yeah, she'll bring up the mic level. It's all fine. And your sister, Judy, how is she? Is she still looking after her quite a bit?
Well, Judy actually lives in Brooklyn. I try to get that across, but sometimes that's not clear. But she lives in a residence for other people with developmental disabilities. But she visits often from Brooklyn. They're actually, my parents and Judy are all visiting Adina right now in Olympia. They flew out yesterday.
When did the marriage take place, and then how many years removed are we from that?
The marriage was in 2016.
Oh.
Yeah.
So when did you wrap this film and then take it through the editing process and then actually deliver it to the world? When was that?
Well, I started shooting in 2015, and the move out of the house was in 2019. Okay. So that kind of ended filming. Mm-hmm. But I was kind of editing like the whole time through. And it came out at Sheffield Doc Fest in 2021. Maybe it would come out sooner without the pandemic, but things happen.
How did this film change you? When you started, what was the idea and that you would try to accomplish, and then over the course of these years, what changed for you?
Well, it definitely, I found new sources of empathy from my parents that I didn't have before. I came in there kind of a little judgmental, like, why is the house this way? Like, explain this to me, because I was thinking very logically and not emotionally about it.
Although it is shocking when you first encounter them.
For sure. And, you know, my parents are loving, intelligent people. I just didn't understand why they would live this way. And when I got to see all the home videos for the first time, and realized I could tell a much bigger story than just a cinema verite film of the moment, which is what I went in thinking I was going to do. I felt like I owed it to everybody to bring that in. And, you know, my older sister Judy, she was always developmentally disabled to me. I didn't know any other life. And I didn't realize how maybe that impacted their trajectory, my parents' trajectory.
Yes.
And that was very meaningful for me.
Yes. Well, I thought that was clear in the film, that there's frustration, there's resentment, there's anger, and there's love. All these things are in a heady brew, and the way you allow those to come through is quite good. And Adina is good, living out in Seattle, still married.
Olympia, yeah. I mean, legally speaking, you cannot marry two people.
Yes, I think we understood that implicitly.
But yeah, everyone's chilling.
Good. Who has questions for Nira Burstein? Yeah. Yes, I thought there'd be something. Yes, go right ahead here, please.
Lloyd suggested that it was a healing process, and do you feel that it was for the family? The making of the film became somewhat of a healing process?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think there was healing like off camera too. like in the making of it, and then just sharing it with my parents, and that being the first audience, my family, and then moving out to a broader audience. Yeah.
Wayback Machine, yeah, second row up there.
Yeah, was there anything in particular that...
Speak up, please.
Was there anything in particular that really you didn't know about your family going into this, and then having these conversations you learned that you hadn't known before?
Yeah.
And also, were there certain areas that maybe you were like trying to find ways to have conversations about, and like how did you get through to your family and your parents in particular over time and having these conversations? Because it seems like it was a very open book. I don't know if it started that way or if that developed over the years of filming and having conversations.
No, I mean, they were always like that, really open books, you know, and funny and like self-aware of their situation. If anything, like, you know, when my mom told me about not having sex for 10 years, that was not something I knew or asked about. But, you know, it's meaningful to a lot of people, I think, so.
Who else has a question? Saw some more hands. Yes, go ahead. Yes.
I just wondered how it was for your dad to do the music for all this, because clearly that's his passion, his raison d'etre, and I was very moved by the fact when I realized that he was doing all the music.
I mean, he loved doing it. I mean, it was an awesome collaboration and just like an extra layer of joy. And just like, he would play music, you know, spontaneously when I was filming, and that ended up being most of the score. And then he would record other stuff, but it just matched so well with the scenes to use his music.
I just want to interject one quick question. So in the end, how did they, or why did they live like that? Were you able to tease that out? Because I'm assuming it was shocking to you too.
I think, you know, it's, you know, kind of like what my dad says, you get used to something and you think it's normal. And, you know, in a house like that with 4 floors, you can go to different rooms and, you know, just kind of lose sight of certain things over time.
Okay, yes, I'm sorry, yes. Steve, go ahead.
And so that leads me to ask, what is their home like now in their smaller apartment or so on?
It's a lot better. And there's also a housekeeper that helps.
Let's see. Yes.
Was there a script in any way, or was it totally extemporaneous?
There's no script, only in the fact that the way it's edited, but no script. Like, I edited it, but no script, you know. It just took 6 years to make, you know, the shoot, letting the story happen.
Stacy?
Where is the film going to be distributed, or where can people see it?
You're asking about distribution?
Yeah.
I will have news soon, but I cannot share that now, but there will be ways to see it.
Okay. What I'd like you to do, though, is when you do have those news, send it to me, so we'll send it out in our newsletter, because I would venture there are quite a few people who want to know. Yes, standing up?
I came to this film because Beth Levison was involved in it.
Yes.
Can you tell us how and when she got involved? And I just wanted to say, she's brought so many great films to this festival, and they've all gotten great distribution, so.
Yeah, I mean, Beth Levison is a consulting producer on the film. She's an incredible filmmaker. You should check out all of her films. And I met her through the other editor on the film, Michael Levine. He introduced us when I needed a producer.
We expect to see Beth back here next year. Yeah, go ahead.
Much of the film was hard to take in, of course. But I wanted to say that I thought the scenes of your sister's wedding, particularly the hug from your father to the 3 of them, and then your sister and your other sister hugging and kissing, was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen on film. It was stunning. So thank you for that.
I think the room agrees with you. Who else? Yes.
I watch it and I think, you know, initially we talked about it being brave and we talked about it being normal, but against sort of what is normal, right? You're getting a peek into this filmmaker's home and it feels like sort of judging it on a spectrum of what's normal. And so I'm curious as a filmmaker, because all I saw was like, yeah, sure, dirty, sure, whatever, but like, nobody could deny that there was so much love there, and at the end of the day, like, you didn't notice anything different because, like, that's what you saw as a kid probably growing up was like emotional love, like intense love. And so I'm curious as a filmmaker, when you hear feedback about, you know, this not being normal or this being so brave, because why would you ever show this? How do you react to that truly? You know, because it is a personal film.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good question. You know, I'm really, really grateful for my family. I mean, the fact that they are so open and can talk about these things, and there is so much love between all of us. I realize that's extraordinary. As a filmmaker, this was a film I could make on my own, you know, without funding, and I felt strongly that this could connect with people. And it just started from there. It's just a process, you know?
Because we're going to have to wrap soon because it's almost 4 and there are things to do, but if you wouldn't mind, Kate, could you bring down, because Nira is not going to be here for closing night, we wanted to present her with her V-Teddy today. Thank you. One of the original prizes that was created here at the Middlebury Filmmakers Festival, New Filmmakers Festival, Michelle Hernandez and Bruce Bayless have given us the funding to create the Hernandez-Bayless Prize, which is given to a feature film that best captures the triumph of the human spirit. And this film, in the process of its revelation, in the process of its, I don't know, deep examination, loving examination of family, they thought, was a true winner of this prize. So on behalf of Michelle and Bruce and all of us here, I'd like to present you with this V-Teddy for the Hernandez-Bayless Prize. It's almost 10 to 4, and I know people want to be at other things, so I want to thank all of you for coming out to see Charm Circle, and of course, congratulations, Baybrook, before that. We'll be back here tonight at 7:15 with The Lost Daughter. I expect a full crowd. Since the seats aren't reserved, you might want to come a bit early, not super early, but a bit early, and Maggie Gyllenhaal will be here following the screening.